As most of you know at this point, Eminem is fairly known to make some really offensive tracks. Whether you love it or hate it, this man has created many iconic moments just from his non-caring attitude when it comes to saying whatever the hell is on his mind. And recently, a huge leak just happened in the Eminem community that revealed probably his most disturbing song to date. You thought the lines on The Death of Slim Shady were bad? Let's be honest, that was like a watered down version of Slim. This track I'm about to show you is the real Slim Shady. No pun intended. Wait, what's that? You guys look a little bit weird right now. Hold on, let me fix it. That's a lot better. Now, the track that I've been labeling his most disturbing song is actually the 2005 version of Antichrist. You know, the track we saw an official release on The Death of Slim Shady in July of last year. I had no idea, but apparently this song is 20 years old. I was barely out the womb when the instrumental was being cooked up. The early version of this track was actually a part of a newly leaked album called Straight from the Lab 3. As this being the third installment, this obviously isn't the first time M's music has been leaked in album form, as in 2003, right before the release of Encore, the original Straight from the Lab would drop. This was a mixtape leaked straight out of Eminem's house by his younger brother's friend. It wouldn't be until 2011 when Straight from the Lab 2 would drop, and now in 2025 we have the third installment. You'd be surprised to learn how deep the leaking community for Eminem can go. And it's been reported that allegedly someone who used to be a part of Eminem's camp is responsible for the Lab 3 leaks. But that's just speculation, alright? No one at this current point knows exactly who's behind this album, but you know what isn't speculation? The man behind Lab 2 and the majority of Eminem's other leaks, Kulo. Kulo apparently was not responsible for the recent album, but has been responsible for the majority of leaks and insider information for a decade and a half. According to fans who were there in 2011, he would give out lists of leaks every week and have fans vote on which songs they'd like to see released. He would then take those winning votes and put out the winning song every Friday. And as cool as this may sound, Eminem and Royce da 5'9" would actually drop a song under their duo name, Bad Meets Evil, to respond to these leaks at the time with very understandable frustration.
Live it today, 'cause I break my back to give you my art. You steal my thoughts, it's like driving a spike through my heart.
I could dedicate an entire video talking about why leaks are a net negative for artists, but this video isn't really about that. I wanted to highlight this early version of Antichrist, not only because I love the release song, but because we now have a reference point to see how much this song actually changed and how many bars were scrapped. Firstly, this song was originally supposed to be a Michael Jackson diss track. Why is Eminem dissing Michael Jackson, you may be asking? Well, in 2004, Eminem would drop a music video for his song Just Lose It. And even if you don't know shit about Eminem, you would know that one of the main subjects in his music is pop culture references. And in this music film, Eminem parodied Michael Jackson throughout the majority of the video. It featured incidents such as MJ's hair catching on fire while he was filming a Pepsi commercial, and making fun of MJ's plastic surgery on his nose, with the video featuring the character's nose falling off. The video would end with the character laying in bed surrounded by children. This is important for later, believe it or not. Remember this. But this music video caused so much controversy that it was banned from BET, with Michael Jackson responding very angrily towards Eminem.
I've never met Mr. Eminem. I've always admired him, and to have him do something like that was pretty painful as an artist to another artist.
This then sparked a wide internet rumor of people claiming that when Eminem dissed MJ, he retaliated by buying Eminem's entire catalog and got paid every time he performed. The reason I call this a rumor is because this is only half true, as MJ's partnership with Sony/ATV is what helped him acquire Eminem's back catalog. Sony/ATV ended up purchasing Famous Music in 2007, and since MJ owned half of Sony, he then owned the rights to Eminem's back catalog, which included Lose It. So yes, it was true that every time the music video played, he'd get money, but only half the money. You understand now? Now that you've been given all the backstory for what you need to know for this song, let's get into the lyrical content. For those who listen to Eminem's newest album, you'd be pleasantly surprised to see that the first 7 lines of this early version were eventually recycled into the beginning of Renaissance, the opening track of The Death of Slim Shady. The next lines then include Eminem mocking Michael Jackson for his, at the time, allegation, with lines such as,
Ain't afraid to take it there, baby's laying it here, running around everywhere, wearing nothing but underwear.
He then mocks those same allegations by putting himself in the supposed shoes of Michael,
How'd you like to come and spend a day with Marshall Mathers? Share some cotton candy, ice cream, and some caramel apples.
which is absolutely batshit crazy, especially when you compare this verse to what we'd end up getting on the official release. The verse then ends with,
Never thought I'd see the day I get so famous I go schizo, blitzo, this show, meet my new alias, his name is Marshall.
which then goes into the chorus, which was used for this version and the official version. The only change is that in the released version, Marshall adds men, women, and children.
Women and children.
And in the MJ version, men and women originally weren't there, and it just straight up went to
Children.
The bridge in between the chorus and verse 2 is even crazier. My brother said my mother left my father. My sister said my mother left my dad. Now we all have a brand new stepfather who touches me at night while I'm in bed. Holy fucking shit. Verse 2 then has Eminem parodying himself as Michael Jackson, describing himself going into a daycare center with a fake disguise to kidnap children and f them in the like Joe Jackson did to the Jackson 5. You see why I said this is his most disturbing song.
Get your damn hands up, Mike. I'm impartial. He's the Antichrist.
That's definitely the funniest part of this song. As fucked up as this song is, it's hard not to laugh at Eminem's dark humor. Now, this third verse might be the most grueling thing I've ever had the displeasure of covering. And I've covered some real bullshit, all right? I can kiss the monetization of this video goodbye. The third verse opens with Eminem still in his personification of Michael Jackson.
You sleep on the bed and I'll sleep on the floor. How come my dad never calls me anymore?
Cause he left, brat. Now I'm your new stepdad. You better accept that.
So you want the race car bed or the Hello Kitty comforter? Either one of them, I'm gonna end up snuggled up with you.
With the song ending in a skit between Eminem and Bizarre, where Bizarre wildly says,
Dog.
What?
Dog, I might fuck a pit bull in his ass or my grandmother, but goddamn.
But it's a joke.
which honestly isn't much shock value than what we got from the official released verse from Bizarre.
Where's Megan Thee Stallion at? I wanna suck that toe.
Like, imagine them finding this song a decade later being like, holy shit, this song used to be crazy as hell. Let's release it on the new album, act like this wasn't a Michael Jackson diss. And honestly, without the Lab 3 leak, I would have had no idea how deep this song used to be. It kind of sucks that the concept of coup de grace kind of went over a bunch of people's heads, and a lot of people assume the newest album is just Eminem up to his bullshit from the 90s again. When, as I stated in my original video from a few months back, it's literally a concept album about why the Slim Shady character is outdated and unoriginal nowadays. Like, it's genuinely so crazy how deep the layers of this album goes, not only from the chronological story, but the songs themselves. The Houdini music video features Slim Shady going into a portal and transporting from the 90s into the modern day. And some of these tracks are the literal personification of that. Brand New Dance is literally a recycled song recorded all the way back in 2004 for Encore. The beginning verse on Renaissance, as we mentioned before, is literally just recycled bars of the beginning verse of the 2000 version of Antichrist. And now we got all the lore behind Antichrist. Like, all of this is just so insane to me. And by the way, you understand now why I told you guys to remember the scene of MJ's character in Eminem's Just Lose It video crowded around a bunch of children at the end? Yeah, this was the result of that shit. It makes sense now why he wouldn't want to release this song. Even though Eminem is parodying who he believed at the time to be a pedophile, hearing how clever some of the ways he flips the stereotypes in these verses are fucking wild. Now, as we all know, Michael Jackson in the same year that this song was made was actually acquitted of all of these charges, as no physical evidence was found to support these claims. And even while the beef was stirring up in 2004, Eminem would go on to talk about how he was actually a fan of MJ and how he was happy that Michael Jackson knew who he was.
You're a fan of Michael Jackson. You've always been a fan of him. So if there was one thing you could say right now to him, what would it be?
The fact that he's heard of me is you know, that does me enough.
Even as recent as the song Lace It with Juice WRLD, we can see Eminem paying tribute to Michael Jackson as he critiques the long history of celebrities abusing drugs. And that, ladies, gentlemen, and Caitlyn Jenner, is Eminem's most disturbing song. And in classic Eminem fashion, he somehow made it a banger. And before this video ends, I'd like to give a thanks to all of our recent channel members: Jordy, Risklow, Intelligent, LaFlame, Mr. Resident Fox, Baywe876, XYX, and Cryspin. Your support means everything. And if any of you are interested in supporting the channel further, you can click the join button next to my name and become a member today. Marshall, he's the Antichrist. Like, that shit goes so fucking hard.
You can hit my Cash App, you can hit my Venmo.